Hello everyone, I'm Explosion Mode, and I'm here to tell you why my family made history. Can't help it if the story's a little bit too long, but I'm going to try to shorten it as best as possible. It's not going to be easy, and I'm going to be showing you a lot of pictures before I really get to the reason why the family made history. I'm going to put the bear down because I need free hands to be able to do this. My sister married Benjamin Adams. My sister's name is Frances Sara Fuzzette Adams Arwood. I will start with showing you a picture. There's my sister. Trying to make sure I get the gloss off. And there's Benjamin. Wonderful guy. He's awesome. I don't know who this guy is. I was young. I was about 7 years old when she married him. So, of course, I'm not going to remember everybody. I was a little kid. This here is a picture after the wedding. Oh, doesn't she look like Sara? And he looks like Sonny Bonio? Yes, that's how they look in one of their pictures from way back when. We used to listen to Sara all the time. Awesome music they had back then, even though their songs were short. I don't like to listen to short songs too, because they end too quick. So I like my songs longer nowadays. But it was nice to hear their songs, and it gave us something to do around the house. So we'd sing songs like I've Got You, Babe. And that was a popular song back then. So anyway, this is Fran. It's Benjamin. That's my mom, Virginia Smith, whom is no longer here no more. And there's Grandma Mabel. I'm the one down here in the glasses. There's a cute little bugger. I will now go and show you a picture of my mom again when she was younger. Might get a little gloss on these pictures, but I'm going to do my best not to have the gloss. That's my mom with her cat Patches. Go up closer. You get to see her high school ring. It's right about here. And keep this focused. Well, that's the best I can do on the gloss. Okay, I'm done with that. To prove that she is gone, I know this is going to show backwards, but I can't help it. Excuse me. Can't keep my hair off my face. It's aggravating. In memory of Virginia Mabel Smith, February 8th, 1925, January 19th, 2007, the 23rd Psalm is on the back. Sorry it's backwards, but that's the way it reads, and that's the best I can do. Yes, she has passed away. Here's a picture of her when she was in the old folks' home. I left her there because, one, I was not going to be around the child molester, high priestess. She practiced a lot of her high priestess, Satanism stuff in the attic. That's where she did her witchcraft. Her best friend was a child snatcher. And her best friend lived in Avondale in a pink house. I reported the missing child, Kimberly Ann Suhami. This is her mortuary, what they put in the newspaper, her death letter saying that she's dead. It just shows her name, Smith. Right here, Virginia Barbier Smith. Can't see if my finger's in the way. Should have been, but I'm in the wrong spot. Okay, my bad. It's to prove she's dead. Virginia Barbier Smith. Best I could do. Anyway. So now, moving on. Now that you know who my mother is, I'll let you know who my dad is. This is my dad. Wonderful Baptist church-going man. Loved Jesus Christ. Not the devil. He was a wonderful guy. His jobs he had, worked at the Sewage and Water Board. He raised bees for a living, making honey. Retired at Sewage and Water Board. And was also a Navy man. I have another picture of him. I'm doing my best to get rid of all the glosses here. He was a very tall guy. I've seen lots of tall guys, but it seemed to be every time I turned around, he'd beat their height. He was so tall, he used to always hit hanging plants, wasp nest. It was not a fun thing. He'd say, ow, the wasp got me again. As far as my mother, the job she had for a living, a couple of them that I know of, she may have had more than that, was she worked at the phone company where they used to put the lines in. I've got a picture of it, but it's not with me at the moment. I'll have to probably put that in my book later on. And she worked at Woolworths. She got to where her time was up, and it wasn't just her, but it was other people's time was up. They were all about to retire. And the new lady started firing everybody that was about to retire. And a lot of people would think, oh, she got fired because she smelled like the cats and dogs. I know she smelled like the cats and dogs. She was a cat and dog hoarder. She had 13 cats, 4 dogs a day most of the time. And one time I remember counting 18. I'm like, nope, can't handle this. She had no litter box. She wasn't cleaning up behind them. I got her to get a litter box, and then she wouldn't empty out the litter. I had to do it. But the house still smelled to high heaven. You could smell it from here all the way down the highway. It was like about 17, 20 blocks down the highway. You're going to Winn-Dixie to buy groceries. All you could smell was cats and shit and piss. And if she came around you, it smelled. Anyway, she was a child molester. High priestess. If you entered her house unprayed, you couldn't pray right. You went in her house, prayed up, it's a different story. You'd have to be highly prayed up before entering her house, because that's how much she was into witchcraft. You would lose your mind, and you would pray things that were not of God. You would pray for bad things to happen. My sister and I were real close. That's me as a baby. Yep, I had an egg-shaped head. Is it coming in clear? Great. Awesome. We were highly close. Her first husband died on a forklift accident. He was working there a whole year. All of a sudden he has an accident. I don't buy it. Possible he was set up to be murdered. He's not here anymore. So she remarried at the time. She was married for about 6 months to this guy, Jack Arwood. Let's make sure you saw that. She didn't stay married to him too long. Jack Arwood used to beat her. We'll be getting to the reason of why we made history in a short. So Jack Arwood used to beat her. So she divorced him and decided to be on her own. Jack Arwood had a sister. And so Fran decided to watch her sister-in-law's kids. She had 2. And I'm not going to show their pictures here. I don't know if they want to even be recognized in this story, so I'm going to be nice about this at this moment. I don't know where they're at. All I know is they saw the whole thing. So even though Fran divorced her second husband, she was still allowed to call his sister her sister-in-law. They still were like close. She decided her sister-in-law needed her to watch them kids. So she did. The thing with her sister-in-law, she was dating a criminal. And I will show you his picture in a short. His name is Robert Sawyer. My sister in the newspaper is referred to as the Avondale Woman. Robert Sawyer and Lane went to a bar room and decided to go drinking. He meets Lane at a bar room and he says to Lane, "Hey, want to come back with me to my girlfriend's crib," which is the sister-in-law. And he says, "Yeah, sure." I don't know how the full conversation went. All I know is that he dragged him from the bar room, met him for the first time, brought him back to my sister-in-law's house. My sister went with him. Well, she was babysitting. She didn't go with him. She was Shut up. God, that phone was annoying. Sorry about that. I got distracted. So my sister was watching the 2 kids. And Sawyer was out dating my sister's sister-in-law and decided he was going to bring Lane back to the house. So all 3 of them went back to the house. Robert Sawyer was drunk. He drank Mad Dog and Mad Dog 2020 and something else. He got to the house. My phone has to quit ringing. Ignore this. So he decides he's going to murder my sister. He starts by boiling her with hot water. Him and Lane were involved. They started murdering her, boiling her with hot water, dragging her in the house when she tried to go out the window to escape by the hair, banging her head on the ground. Granted, my sister had seizures. Now she was convulsing. He took a pinball hammer, banging her bones down to death. They were flat. There was nothing left with her bones. Arms and legs were banged to death. He cut off one breast, one ear, one nose. She had abrasion marks in her skin. I was told it was ice pick that they were stabbing her with, but I believe it was a dagger. Her abrasion marks were open. He grabbed laundry detergent, poured it in her skin. Coffee grinds, poured it in her skin. Took and burnt her with an iron. Granted, she's already boiled up with hot scalding water. Then he took and raped her. They both raped her. Robert Sawyer laid down with her while she was almost dead. Laid down with her while she was almost dead. Slept with her abusively. And then he set her afire. And he burnt his dick in the process. She couldn't get out the front door. It was a deadbolt. One of those doors, you take the key, you twist it to open the door. You don't have the key, you can't get out. Her sister-in-law was here in the house. And to top it off, the two little boys saw it all. She couldn't get out the house. None of them could. It was deadbolt locked. That's why my sister tried to escape through the window of the bathroom. Lane, he passed out. Now, she falls into a coma. And this lady comes over, knocks on the door. Her son's sitting in the vehicle. Knows nothing of what's going on. She opens. The sister-in-law opens the door with the key because, of course, Robert Sawyer gave her the key. And then she starts to screaming and crying. Everybody at this time is not knowing what's going on. She's screaming and crying. She tells the lady what's going on. My sister, in a coma, dying. I believe my mother set up the murder. Now for the reason of why we made history. My sister did go in the hospital. She was in a coma. She was black like burnt toast. I was not allowed to see her before she died. I didn't get to tell her I loved her. I didn't get to tell her bye. I didn't get to say nothing. I didn't even get to go to the funeral. My dad let me sleep in the car. Which that brings a whole nother story, which I'm not going to get into. So, the reason we made history. Robert Sawyer. At the bottom. Was supposed to go on the electric chair. May 5th of 1993 is the day he got lethal injected. The reason he didn't get in the electric chair is because the electric chair was broken. The electric chair was broken because Louisiana wanted to really majorly murder these people in the worst way that were murdering people like Robert Sawyer and Lane did in the worst way. Lane passed out. Lane passed out in the process because the smell, the stench was so horrible of what happened. The burning of flesh, that he passed out. Robert Sawyer got lethal injected. That's what made our history. First guy to be lethal injected. First anybody to be lethal injected in Louisiana. Here's my mother. And the reason I believe she set up the murder, she was a high priestess. At least up 5 to 6 levels. Doesn't look like she's really crying, does it? I'm still crying. I'm crying like crazy. This happened when I was about to have a birthday. You know what my birthday present was? My sister dying on my birthday. We made history for Robert Sawyer lethal injection. As far as Lane, he's supposed to stay in Angola for the rest of his life. Well, that concludes the story of why my family made history in Louisiana. Thanks for listening. This was as short as I could get it. Have a God bless day.